Yeah, what's up? What's going on? This is Mike Media Incorporated. I don't know how to do the R roll. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers be doing that shit. But anyways, you're here in my part of town. You're gonna be listening about Black Krssantan, a bounty hunter of the Wookiee race of aliens in Star Wars. And in Boba Fett, you see him posted up with the twin of the Hutt family, I presume, and they're there. They got this motherfucker, this Wookiee motherfucker, looking at Boba Fett, being like, what's going on? Why are you, you took my homeboy's territory, being Jabba the Hutt. And I'm just gonna be pointing out, who is this guy that looks all menacing, not saying anything, and he happened to be very much so included in the Darth Vader comics that are canon put out by Marvel. Now, let's just go right into this. So, he originates from the first issue of Darth Vader's eponymous canon comic book series distributed by, as I said, Marvel. This character is first seen being hired by Darth Vader to track down an agent engaged in secret work for the Emperor. After a confrontation with Jabba, Vader was able to meet Jabba's top bounty hunters. One of them was Boba Fett. He was tasked with finding the X-Wing pilot who knew Obi-Wan. In parentheses, I wrote Luke fucking Skywalker. So basically, this motherfucker was with Boba Fett when he was being, or in the same time frame, being asked, yo, look for these people. One of them was Boba Fett. He was one of them. So Jabba was like, hey, here's Boba Fett, and there's also Black Krssantan. And he was tasked with what I said earlier, to look for an agent engaged in secret work for the Emperor. Now, let's go back to the beginning of this character. He was forced to flee the homeworld of Kashyyyk, and he searched for pit fighting crime bosses and stuff like that. And at one point, he wiped out 4 slaver groups. And soon, Black Krssantan became the heavyweight champion of a slave fighting ring, being a trained gladiator of the Santi brothers. So this was an X. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Now, after, he was, this fucking awesome gladiator guy, he ended up starting to work for Jabba the Hutt as a bounty hunter, working his way up the ranks and shit like that. And Krssantan became involved with a criminal archaeologist known as Dr. Aphra. After he met Aphra, and Aphra was starting to let him know about his past and stuff like that. Now, Aphra was part of Vader's journey to find Silo, a humanoid doctor, worked for Palpatine. And this Silo guy was kind of like a test for Vader, who had failed to stop the rebels on multiple occasions. In the end, Vader was able to beat the test, eliminating Silo from existence, pretty much. Made him fly into a sun. It's pretty good comic. Now, after the contract with Vader ended, Krssantan started fighting in a cantina fighting pit on Santul. This place had captured Wookiees who were forced to fight each other for entertainment, but he willingly went inside to beat his opponent to death, assumingly for the fun of it, and also because he had experience in, various gladiator matches and crazy shit in the galaxy for money, or just for the fun of it. Krssantan was promised by Dr. Aphra to help find the people who have tortured him in the past, but this is not the extent of their kinship. They have multiple fun tales, such as when the Wookiee and Aphra led a heist using an asteroid to penetrate a class light cruiser after a meet with Darth Vader, who organized the heist to get Aphra to build a droid factory and to pay the bounty hunters. Aphra and Krssantan was always meeting each other somehow in the comics. For instance, when Silo the Scientist battles Darth Vader on the Super Star Destroyer, he saves her life mainly for the money she owes him. But afterwards, he continues to work with Aphra and appears in her solo comic book series named Dr. Aphra, and that comic series has been well received, as well as her character. Krssantan is seen in the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett, the new TV show, on Disney Plus, being hired working for the twins, who are Hutt relatives, I assume, and he came under their hire due to him being formerly hired by Jabba the Hutt years before, I assume. Who do I think will win if Boba Fett and Krssantan fight each other? I am hoping Boba Fett and him become allies and decide to destroy the Hutts, or maybe Krssantan will ally with Dr. Aphra in the series. I would love to see a Dr. Aphra be in the series. That will make him a harder villain to destroy, due to the fact that Dr. Aphra has many droids. So if Boba Fett fights Dr. Aphra, that's going to be a hard battle, because she's a pretty tough gal. But honestly, I see that whoever he beats or bests, I think that it depends who the highest bidder is, because he's a man who works for money, or a Wookiee who works for money. So pretty much that determines how hard he fights, is who's paying him more, to be honest. Cause, I mean, there's a bounty hunters we're talking about. One thing he and Boba Fett do have in common is besting Han Solo in a fight, as krssantan was able to take Han's pistol at the Battle of Rogus Vaz. But both were ultimately defeated afterwards by Han in some war, with Boba Fett falling in the Sarlacc pit and the Millennium Falcon crew being able to escape after 3PO electrocuted krssantan accidentally. I think his skill set is really good. He's able to use brass knuckles, use a bowcaster, and has murdered multiple Wookiees in gladiator matches. So yeah, that's a little detailed analysis of Black krssantan. I think that it's going to be awesome to see him and Boba Fett fight or team up. And I hope that Boba Fett's empire has a place for Black krssantan, because I think he's an awesome character. And I'm glad to see that he's in a live action show. And let's see what he can do. I'm hyped for this shit. But let me know what y'all thought of my analysis, and what can you expect from him, and who would you think win in a fight, Boba Fett or Black krssantan? Boba Fett's the main character. We all know he's probably gonna fucking win. Do you think Black krssantan will be a challenge for Boba Fett? Let me know in the comments. Peace.